Hey everybody!
Hey there!
It's Rhino and Deni, and we are here to welcome you to another episode of Best and Worst on Location. And today we are here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. We want to remind everybody that this show is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. So the next time you are planning a Disney vacation, be sure to visit them on the web at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. We are here today, Deni, because of what?
We are going to decide which of the best lands or areas here in Disney's Animal Kingdom, similar to what we did at Epcot last week. So we are going to travel this park, and we're going to use our report card, and we're going to try to discern as objectively as possible, as just taking our bias out of it as much as possible, which land or area hits all those marks.
Yeah, we've listened to your feedback. More importantly, Deni listened to your feedback and told me about it. But yeah, so instead of, I know last time we did grades like A, B, C, and D, this time we're going to do a numerical system, and we're going to rank everything 1 through 3. So 1 is like, you don't need to, you can skip it and not lose any sleep over it. 2 is like, yeah, do it. 3 is like, can't miss it, okay? So there are 6 areas or lands here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, and we're gonna go one by one, and we'll see how it goes. So I in my head, I feel like people are like, oh yeah, this one's gonna win, but I don't know what's gonna win for me.
I think this is a toss-up.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see it once we're actually in the area.
Yeah.
And you guys get to come along for the ride with us.
Yeah. So let's get started. We're gonna start right up front at the Oasis. Here we go. We have explored the Oasis.
We have.
Which you were telling me is something you're supposed to do yourself. It's self-exploration, right?
Yeah, it's like, you get to decide from the word go. You've got to decide, are you going to the left, or are you going to the left, or are you going to the right? And you can explore on your own. There's lots of nooks and crannies and things to discover, and it's at your own pace. And you can either, beat it through there really quickly to get to the rest of the park, or you can stop and take your time and look around.
I do think it has a lot of really beautiful architecture. It's one of those kind of places where I often have to remind myself at Animal Kingdom that every square inch of this park is man-made, essentially. The trees are real and stuff like that, but they were chosen to be put there. Everything was chosen to be this way for this specific reason. The incline, the whatever, the waterfalls are nice, like all that stuff. And so there is something really interesting about that. And, the Oasis being like the entrance of the park, I feel like it really sets the tone for what to expect. And it's drastically different than the entryways at any of the other 3 parks that are here. In the essence, you're coming in through like a jungle, and then you emerge into this land. Whereas the other places, you come in and it's like, Hollywood Studios, you've got the shops, Magic Kingdom, you've got Main Street USA and the train station, and at Epcot you kind of have like going under the ball, and like, so this one again has that like completely unique experience. So
no, you're right. That's a really great observation, because it's a different kind of a reveal that happens here in Animal Kingdom. And so if this is your first time here, you're probably guessing, what in the world is going on? Where have I come to a zoo? And of course, we all know the Disney commercial back in the day, their big campaign was not a zoo. Not a zoo. It's different. But certainly the Oasis, if there was a zooey part of the park, this is pretty zooey.
I have to say, my ding for me in the Oasis is really that, like, yes, there are a lot of, well, should we just go through the report card?
It's up to you.
Let's go through the report card.
Okay,
and then we'll bring it. So, attraction.
One could argue that the animals that are tucked here and there throughout the Oasis are the attraction. That's
what I was going to say. I was going to say, like, no, there's not a specific attraction, but, like, again, this is a unique park experience where I think, like, they count, like, the petting zoo as an attraction. So I really feel like anywhere that can really be animal observation is kind of, it's not, you're not going to see these animals really in normal places. So I'd say it's an attraction.
Okay.
But if we're doing our scale, I'd say it's like a 2.
I would agree. I mean, depending on who you are and what, you want to get to in your park day, it's great if you stop, and it's okay if you don't. It's okay if you miss the anteater and the spoonbills. They're really super cute and neat to watch if you do stop, but It's okay if you don't.
I think the other part of that too is that oftentimes I find that I never see any of the animals that are here. I just don't have, they're never out. It requires a significant amount of time to stand and wait for them to come out, but even then you don't even know if they're up there at all, or if they're in there, they've been taken backstage to their other habitat or something like that. I don't know. So we didn't see a ton of them today. We saw like a little mini deer, and we saw the anteater. But yeah, it was overall I feel like it's kind of a hit or miss area where it's like maybe it's one of those look at them on the way out. I don't know.
Yeah, and if you are going to hunt all the animals down, not that you're hunting for animals, but you know what I mean. If you want to see all the animals, do it at the beginning of your day rather than the end, because at the end of your day, everybody's just kind of in that mode to get out of the park, and you're sweaty and exhausted. So
there's a flotilla coming through. I can hear the band playing from away. So that was Denny's background music was kicking in. So
yes, it's the percussion is coming through, and it'll get louder. Okay, so Rhino, dining location. Do we have any dining?
No dining here. No, we were saying that maybe you can get like a bottle of water or something like that at the stroller rental area or the like cart by guest relations. But no, we don't count those. Yeah.
So there are going to be some zeros happening here for Oasis. Bless its heart. Shopping.
I think if we're just doing 1 through 3, like, do we say 1 through 3 or is there a 0?
Yeah, no, 1 through 3. Oh, yeah, so we need to give it a 1.
No, I think there should be a 0 because if it doesn't exist, it needs a 0. Yeah.
Not applicable.
So I think that's the thing with the shopping. Now that the drummers have moved on, you could hear us a little bit better.
That commercial break was brought to you by the Discovery Island drummers.
Yeah. So we were saying shopping.
Yes.
I mean, I'd say no, but there's a pin location, but it's not like a store. It's a 1. I don't know.
It's like a wall of select merchandise in the stroller rental, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's maybe a few things.
Yeah.
A few things.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So I would give that
1.
1.
Because it's there, so we have to acknowledge its existence.
It is actually there. So extras. What extras do we have going on?
And benches. I mean, there's a lot of places to sit. There's the cave that you like.
Yep.
That's like a nice, cool area out of the sun to go into, which is really, really cool that they have that. Other than that, I mean, if we're counting the animals as an attraction, I don't think there's anything extra here anymore. Divine doesn't come out.
Yeah.
She used to. It used to be this plant lady that would kind of crawl around. I never understood it. It always creeped me out, but some people loved it.
Performance art.
Yeah, it was
beautiful, right?
So weird. I don't know.
Oh, goodness. I tell you. I would definitely say yes, benches, and I put benches in shade.
Benches in shade is an important thing.
In the heat of the summer, that's all you want in this park is a little bit of shade and a place to sit.
Yeah.
That's got it. I think there's added educational value here. I mean, if you've got kiddos who just aren't used to seeing animals, maybe you don't live near a zoo or something like a zoo, this is nice. It's something that other parks don't really offer.
Yeah, because there's like whatever you see here, there is educational material to be found, corresponding material to be found with it. Whereas like you don't walk down Main Street, there's no material there to tell you what any of the windows mean or the actual story of the architecture might be or something like that. You know, you can find it. I'm not saying that you can't, and I'm sure that you can go to guest relations and ask about it, but it's very accessible here.
Yep. So, but do the extras, what are the extras must-do kind of things? Or
no.
If you're just here, you can...
I don't think they count. I don't think, I don't think any of them I don't think it warrants a number.
So, really?
Or do you want to give it a 1?
I would give it a 1.
Give it a 1. Give it a 1. Yeah, give it a 1. Because you're right. Sometimes you just need to sit down.
Okay, so the overall score for the Oasis is a 4.
So the Oasis has a 4.
4.
It's not really an area that you're ever going to spend like a ton of time in anyway. So it's really not, it's not talking about it being like the worst area in the park because it accomplishes what it's supposed to do, right?
Yes,
so I feel like it's successful in that term. So
you're getting from A to B, and there's some extra stuff should you choose.
So next we're moving on to...
We're going to Discovery Island.
Discovery Island.
Where the drummers are from.
Yes.
We have discovered Discovery Island.
Yeah. A little more expansive than I expected. Than I think of, I guess. Not expected. I've been here a million times.
I know, it was surprising, but it was surprising. Like, I don't think, a lot of times with Discovery Island, it's kind of like the Oasis. You're moving through it rather quickly.
Yeah.
To get to something else, because there, as we're getting ready to talk about, the attraction, yes, there's an attraction here, but if it's not your thing, it's tough to be a bug. If tough to be a bug is not your jam, you continue trucking.
Yeah.
So
it's we like to go through the queue for Tough to Be a Bug because we like the unique views of the Tree of Life, right?
That was so cool. I'm so glad that you suggested doing that today, Rhino, because there was one point at which I looked up and went, Rhino, like this is so beautiful.
It's very cinematic because it gives you that really, like, you got the really bright light behind it when you're in the shadows, and so it gives this like really cool depth of field look to it. And I also love because there's so many animals on that tree that you won't even see unless you go through, like the T-Rex is underneath and
the Rhino.
And the Rhino, yes, and the Rhino. And yeah, so I definitely recommend, even if you're not doing the attraction, to go through, because again, like the Oasis, like you said, this area has some beautiful architectural things to it. There's rivers, bridges, like waterfalls, all these things.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening, a lot of kinetic energy happening all around you. And yes, so let's talk about our report card.
Let's do it, yeah.
So attraction, you have It's Tough to Be a Bug, but then you also have some animal exhibits.
Yeah, because there's the otter
grotto.
I always make the joke, it's the hottest nightclub here at Animal Kingdom, the Otter Grotto, which we saw otters today, which was a first for me seeing them here. So
they were there, they're out and about, and that's just an added neato mosquito kind of thing. You know? So I'm gonna say
they do the macaw show too at the Tree of Life, because we were on the other side and the macaws were flying around, so that happens too. I mean, that's kind of like a random show thing, but yeah, so I feel like definitely let's rate it on Tough to Be a Bug, I guess.
Okay.
Right? Because the other ones are kind of like...
Yeah. And even though on a show recently I said that was the one attraction that was the worst in this park, in my opinion, it's not my favorite. I do see the value in doing it once.
Yeah, I do too. I give it a 2.
Okay, let's say 2.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't think it'll ruin your vacation if you don't do it, but I think it's worth it. Yeah. It doesn't usually have a long wait. I think it's worth going in to see at least once, like you said. And since we just walked through it, we saw there's a bunch of dividers in there and everything. I hadn't seen what the inside of it had looked like yet.
Yeah, so every now and again they've got that plexiglass divider up so that you can still adhere to physical distancing. So that's pretty great. Dining locations. So quick service abounds here in Discovery Island and has one of the best quick service locations in the park.
Pizza-fari.
Exactly. Pizza-fari. I know. Everybody just can't get enough of that great Pizza-fari pizza. That's all they want. No, Flame Tree Barbecue. That was the other one. I'm sure you were getting ready to say that.
Yeah, you know, I've eaten at Flame Tree Barbecue like once. There was a crouton that like sliced my mouth open, and I was very like, oh, there's blood in my mouth. Like this was years ago. This was probably like 5 years ago, and so that's why I'm like, I think it's time to give it a try again for me, because Craig spoke highly of it. You're speaking highly of it. Yeah.
It is really good. It's also got some great kid-friendly dishes there. That mac and cheese, so good. So
yeah,
I would say quick service. I would give it a 3 just to try Flame Tree.
It's good. Yeah, no, I think it rests in there. I know there's a lot of people who are very like that's their go-to place. So I wouldn't argue the 3.
Okay, so also table service. We do have a signature dining location.
Yep.
Here in Discovery
Very
Island.
popular one. Yeah.
Yeah, Tiffin's.
Yeah.
So
what I love about Tiffin's is it has a lounge, which is the Nomad Lounge attached to it. And what's great is they'll do the Tiffin's bread service at the Nomad Lounge. So if you ever, and they have like Impossible sliders, there's some options you can get from Tiffin's that they'll bring out to you at the lounge that maybe aren't always on the menu. So it's cool, and it has the best drink I think at Walt Disney World, which is the Tempting Tigress.
Okay.
And what's cool too is there's a bunch of non-alcoholic interesting drinks too. So
excellent.
yeah. So
oh my gosh, we'll have to do that sometime.
It's good. Yeah,
so much fun. All right, so we got to give that a 3.
I think I think for sure. Yeah, because it's one of those signature dining that people only rave about it. So it's like.
Okay, and I've also heard from Nomad Lounge, like the view that you get of the flotillas that come by is second
It's good.
to none.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah,
Okay.
it's great. I just love that. Even without the flotillas, I just love sitting out there. It's really awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, shopping. Do we have shopping?
Oh my gosh, so much shopping.
There's oodles of shopping going on here, so I'm going to give that a 3. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Extras. What do you think?
There's still a couple places where you can check out animals. Like there's a kangaroo that lives over by the Tree of Life. I didn't see the kangaroo today, but we said the otters. Although we did say looking and learning about animals in the Oasis was an attraction.
Yes, I agree.
So like technically that's another. I'd argue that's another attraction here. But the kangaroo, yeah. So I think you've got still a bunch of great animal spots. You've got Starbucks over here.
That's my biggie, is Creature Comforts, Starbucks.
And then what's the other one that you like too? The Java Aisle?
Oh, Java Aisle, yeah. So Java Aisle is on the other side of Flame Tree Barbecue, and that's where you'll find a lot of the seasonal snacks that they offer here in the park. So if Disney Parks blog puts out this, hey, foodie guide, special snacks, a lot of times those special snacks will appear at Isle of Java. Isle of Java also has funky hours though. So like when we happened upon Isle of Java, I think they had just closed because there was clearly, we could hear people behind the curtain, but they were closed. They were not open.
Pay no attention to those people.
Exactly. So that's always a great thing. And some of the feedback we received on last week's video is that y'all wanted to hear about restrooms and things.
Oh, yeah.
So backing up to Oasis, you definitely have restrooms as soon as you enter the park and before you even enter the park.
Yeah.
And here in Discovery Island, you have 2 restroom locations.
Two, yeah. And then the first aid area is also over here by Starbucks as well, if you ever need a break. My mom did not do well on Everest, so she had to sleep in there for like an hour and a half one day. So I know about it. Yeah, I'm very familiar.
She just needed a little nap.
Yeah, she got a little nauseous. So we put her in the thing, and I was like, okay, bye, Mom. And then I, like a good son, I went and had a drink at Nomad Lounge. I was with her friend, so I had to entertain. So
You'll be all right,
you'll be all right, Mom. Just sleep. There's character meet and greets in a great time. There's Mickey and Minnie you can meet here at the
Character Outpost.
Yes, I was gonna call it like Adventure or something. I don't know, but
maybe it was Adventurers Outpost. It might be Adventurers Outpost.
Okay, we each got a word, so there you go. You'll see it in the picture I post over here.
Yes.
For all you listening people, sorry, but yeah, the characters they used to have, the Winnie the Pooh. It's some stuff is still in that in between where we don't know if it's coming back or how long it'll be gone. Like Pizza Safari is a relaxation station right now, so we're not really counting that as anything. But I foresee that location would return someday. I would think, because it's one of those things that you need the basics like pizza, chicken nuggets, hot dogs, like that sort of stuff. But
you got too many kids here not to have some accessible pizza. All right, so I'm gonna give the extras a 3. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so, because you got popcorn carts, you've got, and then in sometimes if you're lucky they have those snack carts like the crocodile, the spoon, the whatever.
The 8-spoon cafe.
Yeah, those I never get to see them open even before COVID, but so yeah, I think there's a plethora of extras here, plethora of pluses. So I'd say yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna total them up here. So 5, 8, 11, 14. 14. Check my math. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You know it's gonna be difficult when we get to another area that gets a really hard mark too.
What?
I just feel like we're gonna hit somewhere and be like, uh-oh.
What have we gotten ourselves into?
Well, so we gave the attraction a 2. If there are 2 attractions in the area, do they get 2 scores for that attraction?
No, I think it's an overall average of the attractions in that area.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
That's going to get interesting when we go to Pandora. I don't think there are 2 3s in that land, so interesting. Okay.
This might be divisive. We might have gotten ourselves into a pickle here, but
listen, we learn as we go. So the next time we do one of these videos, maybe we'll mix it up again and we'll do smiley faces. Yeah, it'll just be emojis. But,
I love that.
Jumbo.
Welcome to Africa. We're here in Africa and we've taken a survey of all that Africa has to offer. Well, most of it. You know, Africa, you could be here for quite a while if you wanted to do absolutely everything, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and unfortunately some of the best stuff over here, not all the best stuff, because Africa does have a lot to offer. Unfortunately, one of like my favorites, the Festival of the Lion King, is not operating right now for the foreseeable future. But I think when it comes to like architecture, this is definitely one of my favorite areas of the park. Like I love when you first come over the bridge into Africa from Discovery Island, and you just can like look out and you see down like the whole river, and like and then if you look the other way, you see Everest, and it's like some amazing views, and then I mean like a bunch of offerings, right? Yeah,
for sure. And Harambee, when you walk into it, it really does feel like you are walking into a community. You have stumbled into a village. It's so I was telling Rhino, it's layered. Like there's just so many layers of things back here that help to lend to its authenticity. I would think, I've not been to Africa personally myself, but it surrounds you back here, and it's lovely. So attractions, Rhino.
Yeah.
Attractions.
Even though we don't have Festival of the Lion King, we still have what could ultimately be the attraction you come to Animal Kingdom for. I would argue this is the one you come for.
I would agree. This was top of the list in my book, and I think in yours too, for Animal Kingdom that we did recently. It's Kilimanjaro Safaris. Yep. You should not leave this park without going on the safaris.
Yeah.
Just
if you do nothing else here, I'd say that, you know. I know, and we'll talk about the other one when we get there, but this one is like, you are, when I was younger growing up, and I know I've said this before, is that the thought was we'd already been to a park that had like a safari in it. So it was never really a draw. We never thought about this place is coming here, and then like coming here because we're like, well, we've done this, but this safari is unlike anything other, you know, and it's just so incredible, the types of animals you're going to see back there and how close you're going to be. But also I love like the what you learn as you go through as well from the drivers and everything. And so I think it's I think it is just really, really cool. Something to not miss at all, like you said.
Absolutely. It's the headliner. It's something for everyone. And even with the dividers between each row, it's still something that just, you know, is so, so good. So attraction, you could also say that the Gorilla Falls trail is also an attraction. We just walked that, the whole thing. We saw the gorillas.
A bunch of gorillas back there,
everything back there. So that was, I would say we've got to rank that up there as well.
Yeah, I think so for sure.
3?
Well, Conservation Station.
Oh, yes.
That's part of Africa too. I love that. Even if you don't love Conservation Station, is it like open and functioning right now?
Yes,
the train was running, right?
Yep, and Rafiki's Planet Watch and the whole 9 yards. And from what I understand, the goats are able to be brushed again.
Oh.
So this is, you know, if you've got little ones that like that hands-on experience with those little cute goats back there, from what I understand, it's a go.
I mean, I think it's incredible. There's a train that brings you back and forth back there. Again, I think that's awesome. So I like it just for that train ride alone. So, I mean, it's for me, other than that, it's not like amazing. I mean, they've got the animal hospital back there, which is cool. That you can sometimes see like an operation or something, but.
And it is neat because you pass some backstage locations
that's true,
on that train. And they kind of tell you about it. The narration tells you what you're looking at as you travel. So that's really, so I would say 3.
I'd say 3. Okay. I'd say 3, you know, factoring them all together and everything. Yeah, this has a lot of do not misses. So, but when it comes to dining back here,
so
they've got another hit right now too.
Yeah, the table service is Tusker House, which I would personally normally say do it. Yeah. It's fantastic character interaction, just over the top. They're in their safari clothes. The food is plentiful and amazing. Yeah. And different.
And unique, I was going to say, really unique. Accessible though, I feel like still too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely accessible. But right now it's not in operation. You do have the little snack location that kind of rotates. Sometimes it has Dole Whip, sometimes it has chocolate milkshakes, that kind of thing. So you can grab and go. The Dawa bar is open.
Yeah, the popcorn area too. You can get your popcorn back here. Mombasa Market has the sweets inside of it, right? The treats.
That's right. Zuri Sweets is there. The Harambee Fruit Market, which is fantastic. If you're looking for a snack that isn't popcorn, they do have those Simba pretzels, but it's something like they'll have strawberries there. Like you can buy a whole container of strawberries, any kind of fruit. Like that's a great place to swing by. So what do you think? Table service, I think we have to give it a, do we
just
give
a
it
zero?
a 0?
Yeah, I think a 0 because we don't know when it's coming back, and so we'll just play fair with where it is right now. So.
Currently, it's got to be a 0.
Yeah.
Normal times, 3.
Yeah, I mean, and we completely forgot because it operating in such weird hours is the market. The
Harambee Market.
Harambee Market, which is like operating on weekends right now at least.
Yeah.
We think maybe like could be other times, but yeah, definitely weekends. Which is also like some interesting stuff over there. So yeah, but. I don't know, that's like weird, like it's such weird timing. So I don't know, quick service, I don't know if I'm giving it a 3.
I don't know that I'm giving it a 3
I think it's impossible to get anything back here.
I think a 2.
Yeah, I think it's like, you might find some stuff. I wouldn't give it I feel like saying a 1 is like, don't even bother, but I think maybe if you're here on a weekend and you can get back here.
And you're here, right at lunchtime.
Yeah.
Right at lunchtime when they're open, get it. Shopping.
It's got some shopping because like I said, we have Mombasa Market, which I feel like has some cool items in it. It's a lot of Lion King stuff, but then you've got the wood carver back here, who was back here today.
The wood carver, also the jewelry artisan, who makes those beautiful, colorful necklaces. Like, so I'm glad that you said that about the wood carver because that immediately, and if you're going to give us an artisan sitting there doing what they are so gifted to do, like you get points right off the bat.
Absolutely.
So shopping 3 or 2?
I think it's a 2 only because I would argue that the amount of it is not plentiful.
No, it's not.
Right? So it's like in the middle. But
But I do want to give like a wink and a nod to like Zuri's Sweets.
Can we do like halves?
Yes, we could do halves.
Yeah, okay.
We're in charge here. Yeah. We can do whatever we want to.
Give it like a 2.5 then.
2.5.
Yeah. And then, no, that works.
And so...
It's got a lot of extras though. I'm going to say that. I know a lot of them aren't because a lot of times they have the band and stuff like that. But I will say some cool extras that you can experience in Africa are the up close... the walking with giants elephant experience.
Oh, yeah.
And there is the rhinoceros, the rhino. I think it's like up close with the rhino or something like that. I've done that, and it's awesome. They just don't let you take a picture.
Yeah.
So like I've done it. I only have the memories up here, but I got to touch a rhino, and so that was cool. I'm not sure that they're doing that right now or not.
No.
We'd have to double check. I don't think so.
The whole Wild Africa trek that's supposed to be.
That's supposed
amazing.
to be great too. So there are extras, but. None of them are happening, right?
No, not right now.
Yeah, so I guess we write it, but no points for it.
No points. Yeah. No points. But
this is a great area though to come back and get some space, and like if you want to have a drink at the Dower Bar, bring it over here because it is like nobody back here, where the Tusker House entrance and the exit to Lion King was. So
it's really, there's plentiful space.
Yeah.
So. What do you think on extras? Give it a 2? Give it a 1.5?
I mean, I'd give it a 1 because nothing, like, I don't know what is coming, when it's coming, what's doing.
Yeah, if Burundi was doing their thing, the band that's normally in the center.
We gave a 0 for the tables. Well, the popcorn cart would be an extra, right?
Yes.
In the thing. So, 1. I think 1's fine.
Okay. All right, I'm going to add it up. 5, 7.5, 8.5. 8.5.
I think this area of the park is suffering because of cutbacks and the thing, because otherwise I think this would be a lot, I think it would be a lot higher.
Yeah, because then you'd have Festival of the Lion King, you'd have, Tusker House alone would have given it 3 points.
Yeah. So, okay, we are going to move over to Asia next.
Off we go. So now here we are. We're in the theater here, the huge amphitheater, as you can see, and it kind of is in between both. So it's perfect. We'll just get it both. So Asia, attraction, obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Expedition Everest.
Yeah.
I would argue that's the other must-do in this park. If you can handle thrill rides, that's it. What do you think?
I think Everest is a fantastic coaster for sure. There's no question about it. I think it's I know a lot of people talk about how intricate the queue is, and it is definitely one of the. I mean, if we think about the other coasters in Walt Disney World, I think it's like it could be the best. I mean, we're talking remove nostalgia, remove all that sort of stuff out of it. I think it in terms of the experience you have on it, I would definitely say it's unique.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. From, like you're saying, from the queue right through the attraction, even in the merchandise location when you come on out. I mean, it's a holistic approach to the attraction, that's for sure. So that we do have, when Rivers of Light's doing its thing, but it's not right now. So it's
also we're forgetting one of our least favorite attractions. The water, the river Rapids. I think we just never think about it because we both said we're like, nah, we're good. But
blocking it out. No, that's if you enjoy getting soaked on an attraction, or
no, thank you.
No. I do like standing on the bridge like we did and watching the rafts float under and float by, and everybody's assessing how very wet they got on the attraction. That's a lot of fun. I would say 3 for attraction.
Yeah, I'd say, like, even, for averaging them all together, I still think that Everest definitely pulls up the other one. So I'd say 3 for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Dining locations, a quick service in Asia. We have the Yak and Yeti Local Foods Cafe.
I was like, is there one?
There is. And Yak and Yeti Local Foods Cafe is something that I have enjoyed greatly over the years. Just going and getting, sesame chicken, and they, they used to give it to you in these cute little takeout boxes that said Yak and Yeti. Not anymore. But still, it's something warm and hearty and fairly approachable. So
I've only eaten there once, but I remember enjoying it. The quick service. I've never been to the sit down.
I love Yak and Yeti. I know sometimes it can be kind of polarizing. Like Yak and Yeti, people can go, wait, I can get that stuff at home. Like, why come here and get it? Except it's really, really good. And I would argue that the backstory for the Yak and Yeti restaurant is one of the most detailed restaurant experiences. If you research what it used to be, it was a hotel, all of that. So, and just all the layers to what they've designed inside. It's just, I could spend a lot of time in there looking around and at all the little nooks and crannies. But the food is really, really good there as well.
I'd give them both a 2. I think.
Yep. Definitely. If you go to Yak and Yeti, the table service, please get the fried wonton dessert and let me know what you think.
Good.
Let us know. I mean,
I'm getting hungry.
Rhino, it is so good. It's so good. I've gone there just for the dessert before. Our family has gone there. So, shopping.
I mean, you've got the Everest gift shop, which I think is pretty cool. Actually, in terms of like attraction, like sometimes I'm not a fan of attraction gift shops because sometimes I feel like the merchandise falls short, but I actually think Everest has some really cool, fun, and creative different things in there. And then you also have that area outside of like Yak and Yeti as you're going down toward the Cali River Rapids too, which I think always kind of offers some fun, unique stuff. My nephew and niece got stuff when they were here last time in there that they really enjoyed, like some cute like charm bracelets and stuff, and and so there's a couple of things. Is that it though? It's really just kind of that, isn't it?
That's really it.
Yeah.
Those two locations. I mean, if you think about it, Asia's just kind of like a little walkway.
Yeah.
There are things on either side of that meandering walkway.
I do love how you can absolutely tell you're in a different place though when you go from like Africa to Asia or Discovery Island to Asia. Like because the bridges are like distinctly different, and I
Yes.
love that like crumbled statue that they have. And then we completely forgot about the other attraction, the Up, the bird.
Oh,
Yeah,
the Up Bird Adventure.
which I don't like because I don't like birds that much. So.
I like it. It's cute.
But still, so there's things to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Merchandise wise,
A little short on the merch,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
that's okay. Do
Yeah.
you want to give that a 2? Like, if you pop in, you're going to enjoy it, but if you pass
Yeah.
by, you're okay.
I'd say give it a 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say remember 1 is avoiding, so I don't think you have to
Yeah.
avoid it.
Yeah.
I think that if you're somebody who's not going on Everest and you're in the gift shop, you might find something cute that you like.
Yeah.
Like that's what I feel like. So.
For sure. Okay, so extras. We have lots of snack carts along. I mean, if you want your Mickey bar, you can get it here in
The
Asia.
soft serve ice cream.
Yes,
so
the
good.
Anandapur bus.
Yeah.
Super, super cool.
And then I always say they did the best thing you could do with a former Fast Pass location is they turned it into a bar.
Yes.
Because they have to walk up the bar. I forget what it's called, but
Thirsty River.
yeah, I was like, it's got a very very
It's
nondescript
Thirsty
kind of name, but Thirsty
Yeah.
River. Yeah, it's like. I think that's cool. I think that's a cool use
Yeah.
of space of what it was before, where it was just Fast Pass machines. So
It is, and they do have some limited snacks there as well, so that's kind of nice. And they'll have, I think they've had hot cocoa when it's cold before, which is really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's put that. So the Anandapur bus and the Thirsty River. And I would also say, if you are into noticing the backstory of a location or a land, you're gonna love Asia. You already love Asia, I'm sure you do. If you're kind of thinking in that direction, just all the theming with the Yeti Palace Hotel and the bricks on the roofs and Gupta's gear. I would argue this is the most beautiful land in the park at nighttime. Those string lights.
Yeah.
I
do really like those. Yeah. It has a really nice
just
atmosphere
gorgeous.
over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with like the views where you can grab a table and just kind of be like over the river.
You're right,
Those are.
you're right.
It's really nice over there.
It's just lovely. So I would say details under extras as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for extras, I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay. I want to give it a 0.5. I almost want to throw in it, but that's just me being generous.
I do actually think the Annapurna, like the ice cream truck, is a great. Like there aren't a ton of places like I know, like oh yeah, I can get ice cream wherever, but like it's just the ice cream here is really good, it's that soft serve and it's in that cone, like yeah. So I'd allow it 2.5.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me add 4, 7, 9, 11 and a half. 11.5.
11.5 for Asia.
Okay. Now.
We got one coming up here now that is some people's not their favorite, but
that's the way it is.
Dinoland USA.
Yes.
It's for me it's like it's a love and a hate thing because it's no secret. Dinosaur is one of my favorite attractions at Walt Disney World, and I don't think it gets the love it deserves, and that's unfortunate. But I also have recently done a vlog here where I think there's some of the cutest like merchandise that you can't buy. You have to play a game to get inside of the Dinoland USA at the Carnival Games, which normally I scoff at. Because I don't like a place where you go to pay to get in and then have to pay for the experiences inside. Like the food, yes, but not the experiences. What is this? King Richard's Fair in Carver, Massachusetts? What a deep cut there.
Goodness.
But yeah, so I have a weird. I don't know. How do you?
It is very polarizing, right? I mean, people kind of go, "Why is this in this park? Where's the theming? What in the world?" And we get it, we totally do. But I have always enjoyed. I've always enjoyed Primeval Whirl, which now sits there empty.
Yeah.
No one is going on that. It's dead to rights, and it's sad because.
It really brings that whole area down by
does.
not having something functioning there, and the fact that like only 2 of the carnival games are open right now too. Yeah. And then you have Triceratops Spin. I mean, that area is definitely geared toward younger kids because when the dig site was operational too, that's really for younger kids. So it is like a kiddie zone.
Yep.
But now it just feels deserted without it. So it really kind of brings that atmosphere of the park down. So
yep.
But attraction wise, I mean, I'd give Dinosaur a 3, but I know others are going to say a 2. So I feel like we'll have to merge our answers, and you'll have to settle with a 2.5.
I would concur. I don't think it's a gotta do it every time you're in the park kind of thing, or every vacation. But I do think it's worthy of a ride.
It's an exciting ride for people who don't like roller coasters, I think.
That's good. There's some thrill to it, some suspense to it, but you're not plummeting backwards and, pulling G's while doing so.
Right.
So, Okay, so dining locations. You have all of one.
Restaurantosaurus, yes.
And you have trilobites.
Trilobites, and what's the
other thing?
The other thing
with
is...
the ice cream.
Yeah, which just doesn't really have any... It's just sweets, really, normally. There's really not... And a Restaurantosaurus, like... It's very basic. It's burgers, nuggets. Again, it's geared toward, I think, the kid palate, if you would.
I mean, they do have the seasonal snacks there from time to time. They have that amazing autumn cupcake with the Tree of Life on it. I wrote an article on it. I would eat 3 more if they were here right now. Like, that cupcake was so good.
They have a vegan, a plant-based Chipotle burger there that I had a while back, like before the shutdown, that I remembered enjoying. Like, this was way back when I was first trying this stuff. So I think I'm going to go back and do it again for an updated review to see if it holds up and how it works now, because that used to be a place I'd like to go because you'd be able to do your own toppings. And now, those are kind of out the window. So I'm like, why would anybody go here anymore? But they have the Restaurantosaurus Lounge now, which is nice because they've cornered off this kind of room that is like, you can go in. They have they have like 4 specialty drinks in there, and I think it's cute. I like it. I actually think like they should devote more of the restaurant to be a more. I think put the effort in to make an actually really cool, like archaeological paleontology sort of lounge. I think would be really awesome. Imagine if it was like a study, and it was like you had fossils everywhere. Okay. Like if it was like a little bit. An elevated experience, There is some really cool theming back in those rooms if you take time to stop and look through those. So what you're saying is plus that up even more. Yeah. That would be awesome. Like, if this is all, like you were telling me, supposed to be like the grad students and the Dinoland students, I want to see where the tenured teachers are.
Yes.
I want to see that area.
Teachers Lounge.
Yeah. Ooh. Is that what we call it? Yeah. That's funny.
That would be so cool. Yeah, no, the backstory again here is really great. If you stop and dig into it, you've got the Dino Institute, who has done what they've done for years and eons, and then you've got the new grad students who have come in, who are kind of bucking the system and are leaving their garbage everywhere. That's why you've got the lounge chairs on top of the Restaurantosaurus entrance. Like, it's there if you want to dig into it. There's a really detailed bulletin board, and they've left notes to each other on it. So super cool stuff. But I think it gets passed by a lot. I think in terms of also the organic like flow of the rest of the park, Dinoland sticks out in that aspect because you have Asia, Africa. You go from the Oasis into Discovery Island, and then you do kind of get this other land that has a weirder backstory that is about like that, where dinosaurs definitely belong in this park. There's no question to me. If it's about like the circle of life and, and Earth and conservation and where we come from and fossil fuels and that sort of stuff, like that is, dinosaurs are a part of that history, but it did it in a weird way where like it doesn't necessarily... The puzzle piece can go in there, but I don't think it's the one that came with the box, It's that sort of a thing where, and that's the shame for me. So I would hate to ever see Dinoland go away, but I'm not saying it doesn't need an overhaul, but the joke is almost too inside.
Yes, exactly. That's perfect. That's a perfect way to put it, I think.
And which is sad.
So what are we going to give Restaurantosaurus? A 1?
Ooh.
I don't want to say don't go here, but of all the places that we've kind of talked about, I think there's better places to go.
Okay, when you put it in tension with, when you compare it to a place we're about to go to, and a place located in the land we're about to go to, I think you give it a 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get it. It's there. I get the necessity of it, but of all the places, I would say that's the one where, like, other ones. Honestly, if Pizza Safari was open, I'd put that as a 1 too. So I'm not. And
there's no table service.
No table service. Yeah.
So that's...
And not really too much shopping. There's the one gift shop. Well, no, there's 2 gift shops because it's the area outside of the Hester and Chester.
Yeah.
The store over there, and then, but that doesn't really have any gifts in it that are related to Dinoland. It's all like stuffed animals, like plushes and shirts that are just very generic. It's the most generic gift shop. And then you have the Dinoland Institute exit, which has some fun dinosaur stuff in it. So honestly, I'm going to give the shopping like a 1.5.
Well, and see, I really like Chester and Hester's for all the details. I like I love the big dinosaur, and then he gets a beard at Christmas, and he's a something else at Halloween. Like, I enjoy, I've taken a lot of pictures inside that shop before because there's a lot of antiques in there.
Yeah.
So that's cool, but if you're judging a merchandise location off of the merchandise, which you should, I would agree. So 1.5?
I think 1.5. I think 1's too, like, kind of mean, but...
Yeah, no, I hear you.
And then...
Extras, the games,
the games. I mean, we mentioned the ice cream area.
Ice cream, the alligator.
The alligator. I keep calling him a dinosaur, too, and that's why I'm like...
He's big enough to be a dinosaur. Alligator.
I mean, that's kind of like, there's that one shopping cart, but it's like...
Do we want to say anything about Nemo?
Oh, the hard part is like, technically Theater in the Wild, the Finding Nemo musical would qualify as part of Dinoland USA.
Yep.
And that's kind of that's a shame, because I think that's an incredible show. So it's really kind of bringing this whole, like, Dinoland has a lot of stuff not functioning right now, so...
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that brings it down. So, I don't know, I think the extras aren't even...
Nemo with an unhappy face.
Yeah. I think these extras are like a 1.5, too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, so we've got 3 and 2 and... 5.5? 5.5!
Ooh.
Holy cannoli. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so we have 1 left. Here we go. Pandora.
Yay! You would think perhaps we were in a tropical location right now. just with the thatched umbrellas. But no, we are in Pandora, the world of Avatar.
Yes, yeah. I think objectively looking at this is going to be an interesting one.
It is. It is so unique, different.
Yes.
Just different. You've left Earth. You're now on Pandora. And
it's like we are on an alien planet's version of one of the lands of Animal Kingdom, right?
Yes.
So it's like years after the movie, and conservation is still a thing here and all that, but it still has remnants of the battle that took place in the first Avatar movie. With that being said, it's not a land that you necessarily have to have watched that movie to appreciate, I don't think, but it's got amazing, like, there's great attention to detail here. My thing with this land is the lore is like up its own behind, I feel like sometimes, where it's so steeped within itself that it is telling a deep cut of a story here that, I think the average person is going to be like, the mountains are cool and all that stuff.
Yes.
And it kind of blows my mind that they were like, yeah, we'll spend all this money on all these really kind of crazy looking environments that don't really, like, other than, I don't know how to say they don't function, because I do think atmosphere is a major part of an experience of a land. Yeah. And but it's also like, sometimes we have this giant, I don't know what I would call the center area, like in a mall, and sometimes you have the big, like, they'll have trees, or they'll have a
kind
water
of
fountain.
Atrium area.
Atrium, yeah. You have this like giant natural atrium that they've created, and it's just it's an interesting land. It's to say the least. And lots to look at.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I kind of feel like, well, yes, we've got a headliner here. It's visually stunning. The area is visually stunning, aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like nothing else by design. Nothing else on Earth. So that it checks all the boxes. It's so much detail. Like Rhino and I were just noticing things we've not seen before, and we are in here all the time.
One of my favorite things to point out to people is the helicopter that's like kind of steeped off to the side when you first come in, where you go to get like your photo with the floating mountains. Because I feel like not a lot of people see it because it's so steeped. Like I was with one of the designer people once, and they were like, "Yeah, I think we went too far on that one." Oh. And I was like, "Oh, that's funny," because they were like, "I think we blended it in too well."
Yeah.
And but I think that's cool that exists in there. It to me feels like it's a designer's dream. Like,
definitely, they went to town. This is what happens when you say, "Guys, go for it. Guys and girls, have at it. You get to do all the things you're dreaming here." Now, I'm sure they had budget restrictions and restraints and all that jazz. But this is it is so creative. And it is just gorgeous. And I would agree that the land's aesthetics all on its own, that's an attraction.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of stuff to look at. And there is part of a thing where you can learn about that steeped history or lore. Like I said, it's very involved. Somebody sat down. It's like the equivalent to me of like how they created Klingon from Star Trek, like creating a language. It's like that version of that, as they created that fully functional sort of thing for here. So.
Yep.
It's interesting. It's not going to be for everybody. Not everybody will appreciate, I think, that aspect of it. That depth to the storytelling, I think, will be lost. That's what I think. I think that's maybe the thing I have, is that so much went into so much of that depth that I don't think a lot of like average guests will see or understand or experience. But beautiful, like wherever you look, like you said, beautiful, right?
Yes.
Like the attraction entrance to Flight of Passage alone is just crazy.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. So, okay, so let's talk about attractions here. So we've already said the land is an attraction-ish.
Yeah.
But then we have Flight of Passage, which is arguably one of the most advanced...
Coveted. Oh, okay. I was going to say coveted attractions. Yeah, but yeah.
But advanced technologically speaking.
Yeah.
It's breathtaking.
Sure. It's not my favorite, but I understand why people love it. Like I'll give it a 3 based on that.
Yeah,
knowing how many people come out saying they love it, it's been one of their favorite experiences. I'm not here to change anybody's mind on that.
No, and Navi River Journey is what it is to me.
I feel like a Navi River Journey is literally an example of that thing that I'm trying to say about the land as well, where it's not arrogance. That's the word that flew into my head, and I was like, that's not what I mean by that. But it is, again, it's somebody who is really telling this really intricate, really like a story of nature and all that sort of stuff that isn't translating, I don't think, into the Disney. Disney. I'm not talking Disney storytelling, but I'm talking like Disney park.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like.
Right.
It's just kind of the average person will go on that ride and be like, okay, I was in a river that it was the outside on the inside, and then there was a shaman.
And it's short.
Right? Yeah, and it's really short.
Short. So, so I think we have to give it a 3 because of Flight of Passage.
Oh, yeah, I would, that's fine. That's,
But yeah. Dining location, so you don't have table service, but you do have... quick service. Yeah,
Satuli Canteen, I would still, even though my last experience here was not as ideal as I would have liked it to be, I still think this is, in terms of like top-notch quick service dining, I think this is the bar that I wanted it to get set at, where it's like healthy, customizable options that are both unique but also accessible.
And just good.
Yeah.
Good food. Cheeseburger pods can do no wrong.
I love the dessert too.
I've never had it. The blueberry thing?
Yeah, it's so good.
I'll
it's so
have
good.
to do that.
Yeah.
Next time. So we're giving that a 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Quick service, 3. 0 for the table service.
Yeah.
Shopping.
Yeah, I would say like it's shopping. I mean, I know everybody was really into the banshees for a while that you can wear on the shoulder because you can get those at the gift shop here, and then they have all the like the knives and the spears and the headgear of the what are the blue people
Navi.
called? The Navi. We literally said Navi River Journey a second ago. And the tails.
Yes.
The tails, I don't know that they're as popular as I thought they'd be. I see the ears, but not the tails as much. But but I don't know that I would say there's a lot of. I don't know. One, there's not a ton of shopping, but I also don't know that there's a ton of amazing things.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool to visit Wind Traders, the shop, visit it. But I don't think you have to visit it every single time you come here.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have cool themed things. When it first opened, yes, you could get your Navi.
Oh, the face scanning?
Yes, and you might still be able to do that right now. I'm not 100% sure. I've not done that. But there's also the Navi snacks. They have little gummies themed to it. But again, I don't know that you have to.
I don't know how much it rotates, like the longevity of that, you know, where it's kind of like maybe when the new movies come out. So I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know where we put that.
So maybe 2.
I'm thinking 2 just because of the popularity of the Banshees.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Let's do 2.
I think it's got a good extra though. We used to have live entertainment, which is like out the window now, but I never understood that live entertainment. I didn't think it was very good. It was so weird. It was the drummers, and they'd come out and they were trying to call to the Banshee. I just don't know that anybody really understood what was going on. Yeah. The other thing, though, they used to have the guy that would come out.
That's right.
In the machine.
In the amphi suit.
Something like that. And
I'm not remembering that correctly.
And I because I saw a clip I had taken of that the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
Pangu.
Yes. Okay. I knew you were gonna get there.
I like the Pangu for multiple reasons. I think it has really interesting drinks, even if you don't drink alcohol. There's some non-alcoholic options, but the Pineapple Olympia is also really good. Yeah. I feel like that's a pretty...
The Night Blossom, that slush is so good. One of the very first days that Pandora was open was also a very, very hot day.
Yeah.
And I remember having that on my way out of the park, and it was delightful.
The green beer is a must, I always say. Like that, I am all about trying beers that are made exclusively for places, and that is one that the grog, I think it's grog. Yeah, I can't remember the name.
Hawks
Grog Ale. Yeah, and I definitely recommend trying that. But yeah, I mean, that's my go-to Animal Kingdom beer, actually. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Well, that speaks highly of it.
Yeah.
All right, so extras.
So I'd give the extras like a 2.
Yep.
Because not a ton, but I still think worth visiting.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. All right. So so that's 10. That's 10.
That's 10, okay.
Here we go.
All right, so here we go. We're going to find out the one with the land with the lowest score and the one with the highest. So Pandora's got a 10.
Okay, Asia
is an 11 and a half.
11 and a half.
Okay, so I'm going to put that one on top here. Africa's got an 8.
8 and a half.
Just where it's sitting right now, 8 and a half.
Dinoland.
Oh. So Dinoland, I think, is the bottom, unfortunately, right now. 5.5. I'm sure some people saw that coming, though.
Discovery Island
is
at 14.
14.
Who knew? I had no...
I'm shocked by this right now.
I had no thought that would be as high as it is. And then the Oasis.
A 4. So the Oasis for us is the bottom for the land and the areas here. We have Oasis at a 4, Dinoland at a 5.5, Africa at an 8.5, Pandora at a 10, Asia at an 11.5, and Discovery Island at a 14. I am
Rhino
shocked that Discovery Island is at a 14. What were the attractions on Discovery Island that we? Those only got a. It only got a 2.
And we didn't even talk about the tree. Did we talk about the Tree of Life when we were talking about Discovery Island?
Oh. And then the projections they do on it.
Only the icon of the park.
Honestly, I think of all the icon. I mean, the castles. The castle is obviously its own category, but I would argue the Tree of Life is the other thing where it's just like it's so incredible. The animals, the everything. I love that they add the projection stuff to it.
Absolutely.
I think some people are going to fight us on this, though.
I think they are too. We might fight ourselves over this.
Honestly, I think it was Discovery Island's thing that was in its favor was it has so much quick service. It has so much. It has top tier table service, the shopping, and then having the animals and the snack carts, the accessibility to all that stuff. That's what really worked in its favor.
And it's huge.
Yeah.
It's just a massive area of the park.
Yeah.
So, and it's got a Starbucks. It's got the animals. What? It ticks all of the boxes.
Well, so we tried it your way this time. This is what you guys wanted, a numerical one. This is your fault. So we definitely are going to need to know where this ends up for you. Do you agree with these? How would you rate these? We want to know what you feel like is on the bottom, what's on the top. I don't want to say worst when I say Oasis because it's not really fair to say that because it fulfills its purpose. And I think that's another part of the experience. But that's not really how we looked at it for today, but that's up for you to decide, I guess. So But thank you, Deni, again for always having, sheets and prepared and all that stuff. And
glad to.
Thank gosh, one of us is. So, so thank you everybody out there for watching, and we just want to remind you again that this video was brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan a perfect vacation. You can visit them, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We have all sorts of other Disney content on here. We want to hear from you, obviously. Please leave some feedback in the comments section below. And that'll do it, I think, for this time. But we'll be back with another episode of Best and Worst. We'll see you later.
Bye.